angels waging war in the unseen realm. Global events fulfilling biblical prophecy. Eternal life. What lies beyond mortality? From analyzing the paranormal from a biblical worldview to the discussion of cutting-edge science and technology, conspiracy, discovery, special investigative reports. Unafraid to explore the challenging issues facing humanity. Welcome to another edition of Skywatch TV.
Why are so many hidden messages in the first 5 books of the Bible pointing to the very year in which you are watching this? This is Skywatch TV. I'm Derek Gilbert in studio with my best friend, my wife, and our science editor, Sharon K. Gilbert, and our guest, talking about a fascinating concept called the Torah Codes, producer of a film, The Torah Codes End to Darkness, the man behind Pinlight Films, Richard Shaw. Richard, welcome back.
Yeah, there's so much information about all of that, and I was afraid to even broach the topic with Rabbi Glazerson until he comes out on his own volition. We got to talking about the flood or something, and he was at my studio. It's so much fun talking with him. It's really a lot of fun talking with Rabbi Glazerson. But he said, we got to talk about the Tower of Babel, and he said, oh yes, it was a launching platform for space vehicles.
Well, it seems that there's almost a week doesn't go by that we don't hear another proclamation from Israel, from an Orthodox or ultra-Orthodox rabbi, that the time of the Messiah is coming soon, that he's here imminently. The Vilna Gaon's prophecy, in fact, also included a reference to Russia taking the Crimea, which it did in the the Crimean War, but it also did again in March of 2014, so that's been fulfilled as well. Yeah. And of course, with Russia and Turkey fussing over their policies in Syria, Russia could wind up in Constantinople before we know it as well, Istanbul.
So there's this table I have here. It says Nibiru, which is the
Nibiru,
sometimes the way it's referred to, 5776, a threat. And now those two lines of text are in parallel with each other, and also the word Purim is in there. Now that's like this month.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay. A lot of people are saying it's going to happen on the 26th of March, where we start seeing this thing. And typically in Scripture, when things go crazy, the parting of the Red Sea, all these things, it happened during that time of year, according to Gil Broussard, and I believe he's right. There's another one here. It says, the threat of comet. Again, Nibiru, the stars of the host of the sky. That's in the plain text. And it says, lift up your eyes to the sky. Another thing in the plain text.
Oh, my goodness.
Stars of the sky. And then the date 5776 is in there. Now we don't know what that means. We're baffled by why 5776 keeps appearing in so many code tables. Here's another one: threat, star, will be spoken. Everybody's talking about it. 5776, the time of the coming of Nibiru.
What's up for April? Jupiter, Mars, the Lyrid meteor shower, and 2016's best view of Mercury. Hello and welcome. I'm Jane Houston Jones from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. Jupiter, where NASA's Juno mission will begin orbiting on July 4th, continues to shine almost as brightly this month as last, and eagle-eyed telescope viewers will see a transit, a shadow transit, an occultation, and an eclipse of Jupiter's moons, all on one night, April 6th and 7th. Check out the other planets in April, too. Mercury is always a challenging object to view, but this month you can spot it just after sunset, about 10 degrees above the horizon. Through a telescope, you can see its phase. It will appear like a tiny crescent moon with about 1/3 of its disk illuminated. Mars is finally visible before midnight this month. It rises in the southeast at about 10 p.m. by the end of April. The best observing of Mars will be when it's highest in the sky. This means a few hours before dawn. Its brightness and apparent size increase dramatically this month. By month's end, Mars appears nearly twice as bright as at the beginning of the month. About mid-month, you'll see Mars near its rival in the sky, the similar-colored red supergiant star Antares. The name Antares means equal to or rival of Mars.
June 1st, 2016. Hey folks. In our last video, we discussed how the Earth is experiencing an enormous increase in volcanic eruptions in just the past few months. And we also said that the numbers of earthquakes registering 6 or above on the scale has also risen dramatically at the same time. We also mentioned that those individuals living along the West Coast, and specifically in the region of the Pacific Northwest, should be preparing for a mega quake, followed by a massive tsunami of catastrophic proportions, as well as the probability of violent volcanic eruptions in their neighborhood. 14,000 deaths, 30,000 injuries, and the complete devastation of the Pacific Northwest coast. According to planners, the quake could devastate the region for decades and could displace 1 million people from Northern California to Southern Canada. So, how bad could it get? Well, over 7 million people throughout the region could be affected by the Cascadia subduction zone.
Israel's counter-terrorist agency uncovers a plot to overthrow the nation of Israel by Jews. This is Skywatch TV for Wednesday, January 6th of 2016. I'm Derek Gilbert. Shin Bet, the counter-terrorist agency, disclosed to the group over the Christmas holiday. It's comprised of possibly a few hundred and probably no more than a couple thousand youths aged 15 to 24 who want to destroy the state of Israel, put an end to Zionism, and replace Israel with a messianic kingdom. They call themselves Givonim, or Hilltoppers. And according to documents seized by Shin Bet, the Givonim want to provoke chaos in the Middle East by killing Arabs, thus turning the Arab world and the international community against Israel, which they hope would then provoke a revolution in Israel, allowing them to create a new government that believes in the Torah over democracy. Meanwhile, there have been multiple proclamations from Israel over the last year by Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox rabbis that the Messiah's appearance is imminent. One going so far as to tell his followers not to leave Israel because they might miss it, or be away when the Messiah appears. And now we see the emergence of a group, small though it may be, of ultra-Orthodox Jews who believe they can restore the kingship of David by provoking a war with Arabs in the Middle East. I know L.A. Marzulli's got something up his sleeve that he's going to reveal. Tell us what you can about L.A.'s presentation.
Well, you know, we haven't released any of the message titles yet. We're kind of keeping them under a black cloak for the time being. They're about to be revealed probably here in the next few days. But a couple years ago, I got a text message from L.A. Marzulli, and the text message said, check your email. I checked the email, and it said, for your eyes only. Well, I opened up the email, and he sent me a new archaeological discovery. This was 2 years ago, and he has not had permission to release this or reveal this because of the source and where it came from. But I've been telling people this, when he puts this up on the big screen via live streaming, there's going to be probably 750 people in that main ballroom, and you are going to hear an audible gasp because you've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And of course, L.A. travels in those circles, doesn't he?
He really does. He sort of moves in circles where other men fear to tread. He's an adventurer. Yeah. And there are a lot of adventurers who are going to be presenters at this conference. But I wanted to say one thing, Derek. I can't wait till July 15th when I'm standing on that stage with Tom Horn and we are opening the conference. That's always a thrill. I mean, and this conference in particular, let me just talk about Randall Price, an archaeologist, a theologian, a man who understands ancient languages, and he is going to present some very, very encouraging and very up-to-date presentations on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Archaeology and Bible prophecy, great combination. Quickly, it wouldn't be quite right if we didn't talk about Israel in prophecy. And we're going to have Joe Farah, WorldNet Daily, somebody who follows events in Israel day by day by day. We're going to have Bill Koenig, Bill Koenig knows Israel and Israeli news and events inside and out. It's going to be a great presentation.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the speakers we have this year is Joel Richardson, and he's going to be speaking on a very, very unique message, When a Jew Rules the World.
Right.
And you know, there are a lot of people that don't believe Israel has any role in end-time prophecy. And in fact, this is probably shocking to hear this, but probably 80% of people who call themselves Christians in America are amillennial. They don't believe Israel has a role in end-time prophecy.
Right.
So his message, I think, is going to be really important to have people focus in on the role of Israel in the end times.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had him here toward the end of last year, and that was a fascinating conversation. And of course, Avi Lipkin, who always has the latest information on what's happening in that part of the world. His message, I think, will catch some people by surprise. The fall of Saudi Arabia to ISIS. A lot of us Americans assume that ISIS and Saudi Arabia, well, they're all Muslims, they're probably all in this together. He says no, and gives some very good reasons why.
He's quite the prognosticator, isn't he?
In fact, he has made predictions many times that we have seen come absolutely to pass. It's amazing.
It's a little bit spooky from time to time.
From the time she was little, Nita dreamed of horses. Every childhood fantasy rode on the back of a heroic white steed, coming to save the day.
I don't know how long I've had this love in my heart for horses. It's just always been there. And when we were little girls, my sister and I would play all day long. I was always the white horse and she was always the little pink pig.
Let's pretend Lightning and Rosie can fly.
But everything changed in a heartbeat. On December 9th, 1971, a tragic car accident claimed the life of my dad and my best friend and my little sister. And I wondered after that if there was anything left to believe in.
Move aside, let the ambulance through. Please move aside.
As a child of 13, I felt like I had lost practically everything. And I wondered, is this it? I mean, where do I go from here? I could not have imagined back then how God could use horses, of all things, to restore my faith and vision for the future.
Starting April 19th, get your copy of Nita Horn's inspirational new book, No Fences, and learn for the first time her amazing story of loss, survival, determination, and healing. How the vision and love God gave her for these beautiful and majestic animals eventually led to the 150-acre Whispering Ponies Ranch, a general retreat facility, as well as a premier training location that specializes in using and gifting therapeutic animals to benefit the herding. Other care facilities, schools, and ministries across the nation.
When God puts something in your heart, it's there for a lifetime.